Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a quick review for you of this little guy right here. This is the steel Will Cutjack in D2 steel in the 3-inch size. Now, practically speaking, first off, size comparison. Here it is against your steel Will Cutjack 3.5-inch size. Here it is against your Spyderco. So you can see, blades about the same length, but and you actually get about the same effective length too, because both of these, well, this has a finger choil, this has this little deal here, and what the heck, Ontario rat number 1 and your rat number 2 here. Why not? Put that there. Alrighty, so anyways, there's your size comparison. But the thing is, this is actually not very different from the 3.5-inch Cutjack. So I'm going to keep this to be a pretty quick review. They haven't done all that much different. They just did this thing, but they made it smaller. And so what I'm going to do is just talk about what's good about this guy, what's bad about this guy, and then jump into your final conclusion. So here we go. Okay, to me, what's good about this guy is mostly the same thing that's good about the big guy. I mean, it still has a great blade. It's got a relatively thin grind with great steel. Unlike the 3-inch M390 version, this is ground pretty aggressively, and it will cut very, very nicely. It is still running on washers, on phosphor bronze, which is pretty great, and it still has a pretty good action. On this guy, the detent is very strong. Borderline, before I cleaned it out, it was even maybe a little too strong. But look, it's a very, very good, reliable, unassisted flipping action, which is still really, really great. It's still very ergonomic, and in fact, I would say that this small guy is more ergonomic in my smaller hands than the big one. The big one is a little bit tall. So for me, this just fits a little bit better. And honestly, it is still a great value. You're getting this guy around $35-40, which I just can't argue with. And so all of those things that were great about the big guy here are still great about the little one. This actually does add on, though, one nice improvement, and that is that this did not ship with any kind of permanent thread locker. That is great. I don't know what changed. Maybe they just ran out of it. Maybe they saw the light and realized, no, we don't hate our customers. But this shipped with normal happy-go-lucky thread locker that was very easy to deal with, and that is a major improvement, because that was one of the big things that bugged me about this guy. This was a battle to get apart the first time. This made it very, very easy to service, and in fact, servicing it made it a much nicer action and knife in the hole. So, to me at least, that's what's still good about this guy, is that it doesn't have permanent thread locker anymore. It's still a great value, still very ergonomic with a good action, still got washers and a great blade. If you want more of the details, go ahead and watch the review of the big guy, and then just replace this mentally with this. On the bad side, there were two issues with the big guy. One was the thread locker. Well, actually three. One was the thread locker. That's gone. The second was that the clip is over a rough area. This clip sits right on top of this rough texturing, and that is still an issue. I would love to see them put a little landing pad for the clip, a smooth area, like, for instance, on your Spyderco here, so that the clip can slide in and out of the pocket more easily. That's something they can get for a future run there. And then, unfortunately, this guy still does have quite the pocket pecker. It is kind of hidden a little bit by the contouring of the model here, but it still is definitely sticking out there a little bit, and it is still unchamfered. There is no rounding or anything like that. This could be made substantially better just by rounding the sides of this a little bit more. But, you know, those are the bad things. And honestly, those were the bad things with this guy. And so, they didn't fix those issues, but they weren't all that bad to start with. And so we just go into the final conclusion, which is that, well, they took a gem and they made it smaller and they fixed one of the ugly issues. So predictably, hey, guess what? It's a gem too. It is just a smaller model of the best budget-friendly, unassisted flipper out there. This is a great knife, and so is this. And so what it comes down to is if you love the D2 Cutjack here and you'd like a smaller one at a great price, well, buy the smaller one. It'll be at a great price. And now we have two solid options here. If you want an unassisted flipper, you can do this if you want a bigger one. Do this if you want a smaller one. And they're both made just as well with no other issues. Look, I mean, this is great. I love seeing a choice of sizes, and I love seeing both of them done well, and I love seeing incremental fixes. The thread locker thing is big. And so, Steel Will, look, well done. You've taken a really great knife, and you've made a slightly smaller, really great knife, and I just can't argue with that. So anyways, that's the Steel Will Cutjack 3-inch version. If you like it, do it. 100% recommended. And if you want it bigger, well, you already had an option. There you go. Hope this has been interesting to you. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.